A waitress helped the Mafia boss without knowing who he truly was. I never imagined that something as simple as helping a stranger could change the entire course of my life. My name is Lucia Andrade, and this is the story of how, without knowing it, I saved the most dangerous man in the city. A Mafia boss hunted by everyone, except me. I didn't realize it until it was too late. Even now, if I close my eyes, I can still smell the rain from that night, hear the wind sweeping leaves across the pavement, and feel the tremor in his voice when he whispered for me not to let him die there. This is how it all began. Chapter 1. The Night I Found Him. I had just finished my shift at the Lighthouse Bar, tired, smelling of beer, and desperate to get home. It had been raining all day, a cold, merciless rain that seeped into every bone. As I hurried down the street, hugging my jacket for warmth, I heard a sound. A low, heavy groan. At first, I thought it was just another drunk passed out in an alley. It wouldn't have been the first time. But this sound, it was different. It carried pain. And fear. "Hello," I called out softly. That's when I saw him. A man slumped against a brick wall, barely standing. His shirt was soaked with blood, the fabric clinging to his skin. He tried to steady himself, but his legs trembled beneath him. Don't come closer," he said, voice deep but fragile. Anyone else would have turned away. But I've never been good at ignoring people in need. "You're hurt," I replied. "I'm going to help you." He looked at me with eyes full of secrets, darkness, and something broken. "If you help me, you'll get yourself in trouble." I had no idea this man was Alvaro the Shadow Montenegro, one of the most feared crime bosses in the country. To me, he was just a stranger dying under the rain. "I'm already in trouble every day," I told him. "Give me your arm." And I helped him up. I didn't know it yet, but my life changed the moment I touched him. Chapter 2. A decision I couldn't take back. I practically carried him to my apartment, 3 blocks away, but it felt like miles. Each step he groaned, each breath was a fight. The rain washed the blood off his skin, but not fast enough. When I closed the apartment door behind us, he collapsed onto the couch. "You need a hospital," I insisted. He shook his head immediately, fear flashing in his eyes. "No. If I go to a hospital, I won't make it out alive." I didn't understand. None of it made sense. What kind of man would rather die on a stranger's couch than see a doctor? But he was bleeding out. Questions could wait. I grabbed my first aid kit, scissors, bandages, alcohol. My hands trembled. "I'm going to cut your shirt," I warned him. "Do what you must." When I cleaned the wound, he clenched his teeth so hard I heard them grind. There was a bullet lodged in his side, not deep, but deep enough. "This is going to hurt," I said. "I'm used to it." But when I pulled the bullet out, he cried out, an agonizing sound that shook me. I bandaged him, covered him, kept him warm. "Who did this to you?" I asked, though I wasn't sure I wanted the answer. He stared at me for a long moment. "You don't want to know." And he was right. Chapter 3. The Stranger in My Couch. He stayed 2 days in my apartment. I skipped work, made excuses, and pretended everything was normal. But nothing was normal. When he finally woke up stronger, I saw something different in him. Less fragile. More dangerous. "Thank you," he said. "You saved my life. It was the right thing to do." He repeated that phrase as if it were foreign to him. He gave me a fake name, Mateo. But even then I knew he was lying. Not because of what he said, but because of the way he observed everything. The windows. The hallway. The shadows. A normal man doesn't live on the brink of danger. That night, footsteps echoed in the stairwell outside. His hand went immediately to the wall, searching for something that wasn't there. a weapon he didn't have. He leaned close to me. "Don't worry. If someone comes for me, I won't let them hurt you." And I should have been terrified. But instead, I felt safer. Chapter 4. His Secrets, My Fear. Days passed. He walked slowly now, leaning on the furniture for support. I changed his bandages, made soup, and stayed home more than I should have. I knew I should have kicked him out, called the police, done something sensible. But I didn't. There was something in him, something broken, yes, but also something human beneath all the shadows. One afternoon, while I was washing dishes, he said, "I need to tell you something." My heart raced. "I am not who you think," he said. "People are looking for me. Not to arrest me. To kill me." I swallowed hard. "What did you do?" He stared at the floor for a long moment. "I led an organization. A dangerous one." The room spun. I felt the air drain out of my lungs. "If you want me to leave," he said quietly, "I will." And in that moment, I made the most reckless decision of my life. "Stay. Until you're fully recovered." He closed his eyes. Grateful. Hurt. Maybe guilty. But he stayed. Chapter 5. Danger Finds U.S. It happened at night. I was asleep in my room, and he was resting on the couch, recovering. Then I heard it. A metallic click. Someone was picking the lock. Before I could even sit up, he was already in my doorway, silent as a ghost. He covered my mouth gently. "Sure, don't make a sound." Footsteps. 3, maybe 4 men. Then a voice. "Alvaro, we know you're in there. Come out, and the girl stays unharmed." My blood froze. They knew who he was, and they knew who I was. He whispered, "I'm sorry, Lucia. I dragged you into this." The door burst open. 3 armed men rushed inside. He pushed me into the bathroom. "Stay here. Don't open the door. No matter what." I wanted to stop him, but I couldn't move. Gunshots. Shouts. Bodies hitting walls. Then silence. When I stepped out, trembling, he was standing over 3 unconscious men, chest heaving, gun in hand. He wasn't the wounded stranger anymore. He was the man they feared. "We have to go," he said. And I nodded, because there was no turning back. Chapter 6. The Run. We left everything behind. My apartment. My job. My entire life. We traveled at night in a stolen car, moving from motel to motel, hiding in small towns and abandoned places. He was always alert, always watching. I wanted to hate him for dragging me into his world. But I couldn't, because I also felt something else. Something I shouldn't have felt. One night, by a small fire near the woods, I asked, "Why are they after you?" He stared into the flames. "I betrayed dangerous people," he said, "and I'd do it again. They wanted to burn everything down. I just wanted it to stop." For the first time, I saw the man beneath the legend. Not a monster. Not a shadow. Just someone who'd been fighting too long. "What will you do now?" I asked. "Survive," he replied, "and keep you safe." My heart stumbled. Chapter 7. Between Fear and Desire. Living with him, running with him, breathing the same heavy air day after day. It created something dangerous between us. One night, in a cheap motel while the wind howled outside, he said, "You don't have to stay with me. I can leave you somewhere safe." I stood up, walked toward him. "I don't want to leave." He shook his head. "You don't know what you're saying." "I do," I insisted. "I know who you are, Alvaro. I know what you've done. But I also know what I saw. A man who saved me. A man who could have left me to die, but didn't. He breathed shakily, brushing my cheek with his fingers. I shouldn't feel this for you. But you do. That night, we stopped pretending. Chapter 8. The Final Truth. They caught us sooner than we expected. Not on a dark road or a hidden alley, but in a quiet little town we thought was safe. He was arrested. I was dragged away from him. They interrogated me for hours, demanding names, places, secrets. But I didn't know anything. Finally, a detective leaned in and said, "Do you know who you helped, Miss Andrade?" I stayed silent. Alvaro Montenegro is one of the most wanted men in the country. You lived with him. You hid him. You protected him. I also saved him, I replied, because he was a human being bleeding in the rain. The detective stared at me, not with anger, but something like reluctant respect. They released me. He wasn't so lucky. As they led him out of the courtroom, he turned to me and whispered, "Go live your life. I'm sorry for ruining it." But he didn't ruin it. He changed it. Epilogue, an unsigned message. 9 months passed. New city. New job. New attempt at normal. But I couldn't forget him. One morning, as I opened my locker at work, I found an envelope. No name. Inside, 2 things. A one-way train ticket to a border city, a small note. "Thank you for not letting me die. I owe you a life. If you want to find me, you'll know where to go." My heart nearly stopped. I looked around. No one. I breathed in deeply. And I knew. My story with him wasn't over. Not yet.